One of the newest mystics to come to MCoC is Spiral, a champion that I've been lucky enough to have pulled and taken to rank 3. She is especially targeted at fighting Serpent, but there are some pretty cool things that she is able to do other than that as well, which we're going to be getting into in this video. She is probably the best Serpent counter in the game in my opinion. For quite a number of reasons. She basically hard counters his kits because there's a bunch of different mechanics that he has that she likes to take advantage of, and those other mechanics will translate relatively nicely into other abilities in the Cosmic class, such as being able to abuse when the opponent has a power gain buff, or to be able to get around effects that have glancing with her fervors, allowing her to be very good for Maestro and stuff. And Power Steal is just always a really fun mechanic. But that being said, let's get into a few basic fights before we get into some pretty cool ones. Starting with this Realm of Legends Winter Soldier, where we can get a basic Spiral rotation. We're doing 3 Realm of Legends fights to show off some different things each time. The first is just a fight with no class advantage to see what the damage is probably going to look like. And when I'm doing a Spiral fight with no class advantage, I'm usually going to go for 2 special 1s and then a special 2, and then that's usually going to kill my opponent. And for Spiral, you want to build up these fervors, which are going to allow you to place a bunch of ruptures, and those fervors, once they reach 15, they are going to pause, and then you're going to drop a special attack and do a bunch of damage depending on how many fervors you had. And as you can see, the damage is great, and it was enough to kill Winter Soldier there in just 50 seconds, which is not that bad. So we're going to go fight this Captain Marvel next, and considering the fact we have class advantage in this fight, we need to drop less specials than if we were fighting a non-cosmic. And for this fight, I think I'm going to use only special 1s to show off the special 1 only rotation, which is good for a number of things. It is much better if you want to work on a lot more power control because of how many times you're power stealing on the special 1. So we are only going to use special 1s against this Captain Marvel here just to see what the damage is like, rather than be doing SP1 to SP2, which would kill her. Yeah, we'll show a little bit of a difference with that. And with her Dancing Blades, just the amount of combo extensions you can make is just really awesome. Really like that ability that she has. And it's a really fun and unique mechanic where you have to swipe up to fire the blades, and then they are going to place a stun as a combo extension similar to a relic and such. And only 3 SP1s killed Captain Marvel, so 3 bars of power, 44 seconds. Love to see it. And now, next up we're going to fight this Juggernaut, and I wanted to see if Spiral could kill the Defender before they even are able to use their special 3. Obviously, Realm of Legends opponents cannot use their special 3, but basically I was going to judge it by if we could kill Juggernaut before he is going to be red and have the ability to use it. So we're going to try to never let him throw a special this whole fight, which Spiral is gonna be able to handle pretty well because of the power steal that she does have from all of her rupture applications. And if we drop a special 1 here, we're gonna do a bunch of that power steal. Spiral cannot power steal if the opponent is at 3 bars, so that's basically gonna determine when we are done. But I'm gonna go for a special 2 here, hopefully for the big damage to just outright kill him. And I'm going to go for a relic here to extend it even further. And just like that, Juggernaut is actually going to die, and he never had a chance to use that special 3, which is awesome. So yeah, her power control isn't the best thing in the world, but it's also really good. You can do a lot of damage before having to bait that special attack, as you saw in that fight. So naturally, we're going to go show her against her best matchup next, and that is Serpent, which is funny because calling anyone's best matchup Serpent is pretty impressive because of how limiting this guy is. However, Spiral loves when the opponent has power gain buffs, because then your power steal is multiplied much higher, and you can get so much more power for yourself and take so much more power away from the opponent for power control purposes. And as you can see here, Serpent hasn't even reached 2 bars of power yet, and we've thrown 4 bars worth of specials. And then we just block a hit, and his death immunity's gone, and the ruptures kill him. 43-second Serpent fight. That's pretty great, man. That is a pretty great fight. Now we're gonna go take this Nova here. This fight's a little weird because it has Matador, and because of the fact that Spiral is power stealing a bunch, it's kind of working against us. But it also has Power Shield, and we kind of would like to see what the damage with Power Shield would be. It's actually not a big difference because of the fact that her specials have a flat attack rating increase rather than percentage based, so it doesn't scale as well, but still gonna be pretty flashy. Another cool thing that Spiral does is when she blocks an attack, you saw how it destroyed Serpent's buff, but it also destroys Fury and Precision, which is very useful for some other defenders like Nova, for example. And even further, it's also good for Medusa. You can like destroy her Fury buffs, make it to where she's never gonna get 3 to auto block just by blocking that hit. And yeah, Nova went down pretty nicely there. And now we're going to fight this Adam Warlock. Adam, if you power steal Adam, he disables his own power gain for 15 seconds. And considering the fact that Spiral's going to do that on virtually every hit once we get our fervors up, he's just never going to have passive power gain. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, this is the bounty fight. It also has a node where we gain power and we power steal. I don't entirely know how that one even works. We have to reach like a certain amount in our combo meter, and yeah, like the power's gone there. And yeah, this is going pretty nicely. We're getting a decent bit of power just from the power steal, but is mitigated a little bit by outside sources. And the special one does a decent job there. Get an intercept, go for the dancing blades, and then I'm just gonna special one right into his pod, but we do hit him at the end and he dies, so it went pretty well in the end anyway. And then we're gonna go fight Crucible Red Goblin next. This one is pretty sketchy because of the fact that when you place a rupture in this fight, you're gonna basically give him a permanent Fury every few seconds, because with the unlimited power node, he's gonna gain a Fury every time he's gonna get a Fury every like 12 seconds based on how many debuffs he's had on him in the fight. As you can see, we're already at 6. Every time we block a hit, we're gonna destroy one of those buffs. But once they stack up so much, it's like there's going to be almost no difference. So this is kind of just like a damage showcase more than anything. See how much damage she can do in this short period of time. I ate the special one there because of my low battery messing me up. So that's fun, but it's fine. I'm going to go for this special 2 in a second. We're going to bait a special from him first, probably. And then go for the Dex, and special 2 does some decent damage, and then the ruptures are still ticking really hard. Gonna go for the special 1 right here, or not right here, we don't even need it because he's just gonna die there, and that was like 800,000 health in just under a minute. Yeah, so now we're gonna show off some War Showcase fights. Spiral was pretty cool for this quest. Specifically for the Serpent that we're going to fight next, but I am going to try her against this Dazzler here. She was pretty cool for this Dazzler fight. With the power control, you're just never letting Dazzler reach 3 bars of power, basically. She's going to get a lot of power early due to power focus too. However, once she's above 2 bars of power, you're just power stealing her most of the fight, and that's pretty cool. She's also falter immune, so when Dazzler does the Dazzling Dash, you can intercept freely because you're never going to get faltered there. You don't want to block it because you're going to get passive stun still, but just don't block it and then you're fine. Like there, I go for I sidestep intercept because of the fact that I knew I'd be falter immune. And here, we're going to go for the special 2, and that is just going to finish Dazzler off. 30 ruptures, plenty of extra attack on the beams. And even with Dazzler reducing our crit damage rating by a lot, it's still enough to kill her. So there we go. And we move on to fight this Serpent on what would be node 47 on the war map. Again, you already know, Spiral completely destroys Serpent on so many nodes, and this is absolutely no exception. We have the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights from the node, which is awesome. However, they are completely unnecessary, and Spiral's going to be able to handle this anyway, even without them. There is another Falter node on this fight, but again, she's Falter immune, so that part doesn't matter. I'm going to drop a special 2 here, and we're going to push myself away, so I get the Unstoppable from Fight or Flight, which is great. And then special 1 again. We have so many Ruptures, man. 36 now. And they're just absolutely taking him down. He has 0 Call Force. He's not even close to getting his resistance up. And we kill him. So, yeah, that was nice. And here we have another Serpent. This time on what would be node 21. This was just an off-season war fight that I've done. And it went pretty well. We have sent Spiral to node 46 Serpent, and they've soloed quite a bit. It's just never been my Spiral in season, because we have a Sig 201, so I'd rather send that. And speaking of her Sig ability, if you can get your Spiral Awaken, it is totally worth it, because she has an amazing Sig ability for Alliance War. For every Fervor on Spiral, she's going to reduce the duration of Poison, Incinerate, and Shock effects on her by a certain amount of percentage per Fervor she has, and it just becomes really reliable for some Hazard Shift fights, especially on Cosmics. I've sent her to Hazard Shift Poison Rupture Serpent before. She's been taking Maestro on the Incinerate Shock Hazard Shift before. And overall, it's just like a super good Sig ability for any Cosmics and Hazard Shift if you are an Alliance War player. And I wish my Spiral was awakened because of that, because I am all about war. If I can have another great war option, I would love to see it. And yeah, the reason I haven't been using Spiral a lot in war is because we have that Sig 200 version to send anyway. But yeah, so that just, you know, another example of her reliability for war and stuff. Now we're gonna fight this Silver Surfer on node 30, another off-season war fight. So these are kind of weird placements, but they're pretty cool enough. This one is Safeguard, so we are going to try to spam a bunch of Ruptures and utilize them for our damage instead of going for the big special 2 and stuff, because that's just kind of wasteful at that point. And yeah, here's another special 1. We just want to keep placing those Ruptures and let them take him down. And then he's going to go for a special 2 here. We're going to get the Unblockable from the Tactic, which is going to give us some more burst damage. And that is super cool. Dancing Blades here. And then we're going to go for not a special... No, I am doing a special 1. Good, that was what I was supposed to do. And then he is just dead. So yeah. As you can see, if you're going to use her against a Safeguard matchup, you are going to have plenty of damage in red, and if you just want to spam the special 1s, you have the ability to do that. So this is a path on 9.2. We want to parry special attacks to remove Scourge charges, which I don't think I entirely understood the node at the start, and then I get better at it later on in the path. It also has Hurt Locker, so we want to alternate special 1, special 2 if we can help it, but that's fine because Spiral can do that for her rotations just fine. So, if the stun from the Dancing Blades is prevented by immunity, you obviously aren't going to have the stun, but you are still going to be able to combo chain, because it still counts as a hit, and the opponent is going to react as though they got hit, so you can continue hitting them even if that stun isn't there, which I believe you're going to see here, possibly. Yeah, right there. So he was stun immune, but it's fine, we can still continue to combo him. And not only does Spiral counter Serpent's death immunity, but he's also going to hit indestructible and immortality buffs, such as Hercules's. And there's going to be a really cool interaction that I want to show you as soon as we get him to his immortality phase. And that's going to be right here. Watch this. We're going to go for the block. Even though he's unblockable, he dies. Because the removal of the immortality is coded to trigger before the hit happens, so that immortality is going to go away, the unblockable is going to go away, then he's going to hit my block, then he dies. So that's a really cool utility piece. If Serpent or something like that happened to go unblockable because of his death immunity, you remove the death immunity, the unblockable would go away, and then you would be able to hit him, or take the hit into block, and he'd be dead because of the ruptures. Now, that's probably not going to happen because there are very few nodes or anything that are going to make Serpent unblockable specifically because of the death immunity, but it is something to keep in mind for sure. So here I'm trying to bait this guy's special, but he's not feeling like it, and then he's eventually going to go for it, hopefully. My fervors are paused though, so that's nice. It was a bit of a waste of time, and I'm taking some damage from the degens, but I did get the parry there, which is pretty nice. So yeah, this path is going fine at this point, and I'm going for a special 1 here because of Hurt Locker, and there we go. Dodge right there, and he's almost dead. We're gonna go for the combo chain into a relic if needed, or special 2. And yeah, just combo chaining with Spiral is so great, man. She can extend her combo just so long with a combination of your blades and your relic. They showcased that a lot on like the live stream when she was initially announced as like, hey, look how long you can combo chain with Spiral, and it's actually so true. It's such a great thing that she can do. Okay, now we're fighting this Odin on the same path, so we just want to go for the special parries, and we get that right there. And yeah, gonna go for a special 1, and then probably a special 2 after. He did steal a little bit of my power, but that's fine. And there, clarify, that happened. And I'm gonna start building up to a special 2 now. The power steal is coming in great. He is not gaining his power as fast as he normally would be, assuming I am landing those ruptures. So parry there, go for the special 2, which because of his armor, it's not going to do a lot of damage unless I am critting on the attack, but that's fine. So I'm going to go for the special 1 here, place a lot more ruptures because we want to do as much damage in red as we can because of how tanky his armor up is. I wish she was like able to destroy the armor up buffs by the block, but it would probably be too good. Just too much buff control all at one time, especially when it's getting around nullify. So it would probably just make her too strong, so it makes sense that it's not there. Anyway, special 2 dropped, and he's dead, and then we're going to move on to the next fight, which, let me see what it actually is. Oh yeah, okay, so we have 2 Necropolis fights. First being against Red Goblin, and then we're going to fight Necropolis Odin. And I don't think that Spiral is like the best champ ever for Necropolis content. I actually wouldn't tell you to use her for Necropolis at all, probably, because she's more of a short, medium fight champion. However, the fact that she is able to solo these fights is pretty cool. And this Red Goblin is also harder for her because she's able to access special attacks slightly slower because of the Bloodlust mechanic, but it also shows off a little bit of her strengths with the Power Steal giving her power as well. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty long fight. It's not like the longest thing ever. I've seen like Wong even have some longer Necropolis fights than what this one's going to be, but also this is kind of an ideal matchup for Spiral, and Wong is able to take a bunch of crap that isn't necessarily ideal. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to try and sell you that she's a good Necro champ, but she is able to solo some of these fights in a pinch, and that is often valuable. And it's also cool to just show you what she looks like for longer fights damage-wise. For Red Goblin, I'm going to be spamming only special 1s because of the fact that my combat power rate is reduced by this node. We just want to be capitalizing on getting ruptures and pausing them rather than getting to a big special 2, because it's going to be much more unreliable to be able to do that. And that's fine. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now and speed up the fights. I'm probably not gonna talk over Odin either. It's not really necessary. There is a synergy that allows Spiral to go inverted controls immune. I don't entirely remember if I utilize it in the video. I think I do throw it on. It's not necessary, obviously. I'm able to solo Odin usually pretty consistently, even without inverted controls immunity. But it is a good synergy. I've sent it with her to war fights before on the inverted controls node on the war map. So added safety, if you want to send Spiral to that node, you can give her that synergy, and she becomes inverted control immune, which is certainly awesome. So yeah, overall, Spiral is a super cool champion. I'm really glad that I'm able to play her. She's genuinely, I think, the best Serpent counter in the game, and that is always something that's going to be valuable because of how valuable it is to be a Serpent counter in this game, with how often he is in the PvP modes and how hard he is. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this one. I'm going to stop talking here, but you can go ahead and watch this Necro solo, and then Odin after it, a little bit sped up. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.